I think some of those people, I reckon they'd been building for like 3 months prior and they're like, oh, a hackathon, let's enter that as well. It's like, seriously, are you building out like a full on leverage trading options, blah, blah, blah protocol in like a couple of weeks? I don't know. That sounds a little bit, a little bit risky there.
So from that perspective, it was an amazing experience. We joined the hackathon, we submitted, didn't win anything. And I remember we were talking to people when they were like evaluating the submissions. We were talking to somebody from, I don't know, it was some investor, and they were like, there aren't really any good projects. Like, you guys are doing something cool. And then like the submissions actually were evaluated, and we saw how many amazing projects were like pretty much completely built out. Like, we just had a front end that was clickable and like a presentation, and people had like whole protocols pretty much live in the hackathon. So we weren't worried. It was pretty clear to us that we wouldn't go too far, at least in terms of winning. But
You know
that was
what
like,
though? I think some of those people, and this is something that we noticed as well, I reckon they'd been building for like 3 months prior and they're like, oh, a hackathon, let's enter that as well. It's like, seriously, are you building out like a full on leverage trading options, blah, blah, blah protocol in like a couple of weeks? I don't know. That sounds a little bit, a little bit risky there.
yeah, I mean, didn't want to say it out loud, but I think that's the case, right? I think that happens with every hackathon, which is, I guess it's fine, right? Like, hackathons do their jobs for projects at different stages of development. Like, for us, the main thing it did is just like, gave us some exposure to the ecosystem. Also, kind of, they force you to meet some deadline, right? Because like most people who start a hackathon, it's still kind of like a thing on the side for them. But hackathons force you to deliver something to the deadline, and that potentially may be enough for you to keep doing it, right? And so I think like to keep doing it post hackathon is sort of complete. So I think they did the job for us. Like, that was kind of the main thing, and I'm glad we joined. And I think like ever since, we were, from the squad's perspective as well, like super excited about hackathons, just like supporting teams. And it's still a great funnel for us in terms of onboarding users, because like we sort of do our own evaluation when the hackathon is about to end, and we sort of pick the teams that we think will stick around and have something cool built, and we approach them early and like, onboard them to squads, explain them why using a multi-sig is great and all that kind of stuff. So that's also, we're still very much plugged in to the, hackathon experience that Solana is providing. And I think it's really cool. I think it's kind of unique to Solana as well in terms of like the pace of them and engagement as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of the things that I say often about Solana that maybe is a big differentiator, as you say, is like no one else is doing this. Like, there aren't other chains that are setting up hacker houses and all this sort of stuff in like 10 different cities in the next 3-4 months and have thousands of people attending these things and building stuff all the time. Like, I think that's one of the big pluses for Solana and what they've been doing. And sure, market will do what it'll do, but I think the important thing is there's lots of people building, and that's what you want. You want hundreds, if not thousands of people turning up to these things and just building new stuff and growing the ecosystem. So yeah, I think it's a critical sort of pathway.